All right, how's everybody doing today? Hotep. Hey, this is Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, and writer. It is Friday, March 8th, 2019, and we made it through another week. This year is going by quickly. Hope everybody's doing well today. Want everybody share this broadcast on your Facebook page. Invite your friends to tune in also. So I haven't done any videos dealing with R. Kelly since the um, interview that Gayle King did with him. It first aired this past Wednesday, okay, March 6th. And I've done a lot of posting, but I haven't done any videos dealing with it. So I'll be talking about it a lot on my radio show, the African History Network show, this Sunday, March 10th. But I wanted to talk a little bit about it here. And I wanted to talk about a story that came out yesterday, March 7th. And it deals with R. Kelly's former attorney. Okay. So a lot of us have seen excerpts of the interview that Gayle King did with R. Kelly. It's a debacle of an interview. He breaks down a couple of times that we've seen. The full interview airs Friday, March 8th, 8 p.m. on CBS, the full interview. And it's going to be a 1 hour special. And we know Gayle King also interviewed Jocelyn Savage, age 23, and also the other girl, last name Clary, who is they're both living with R. Kelly, Azriel Cleary. Okay, so we know that she interviewed them also. Okay, so we'll post some clips here on the thread of the broadcast to give you more insight into what's going on. All right, how's everybody doing? Share this broadcast on your Facebook page. Okay, so this morning I saw an article from page6.com that was picked up. It was an interview that Chicago Sun-Times did with Ed Deerfield. I'm sorry, Ed Geeson, Genson, Ed Geeson, Ed Genson. And Ed Genson is 77 years old. He's the former attorney of R. Kelly. Now he was the attorney for R. Kelly back during 2008 when R. Kelly had his trial, which was for child pornography. Okay, and there were a number of different things wrong with this interview that R. Kelly did with Gayle King. Number one, let me just break this down quickly, and then we'll get to this story with this interview that his former attorney did. Number one, R. Kelly should have never done the interview, one, without proper prepping from his attorney. His current attorney's name is Stephen Greenberg. If you saw the show that I did February 24th, 2019, I went through and broke down the current case because that dealt with that show. I dealt with the 10-count indictment against R. Kelly for criminal sexual abuse, things like this, right? Okay, so first of all, he should not have done this interview without being properly prepped by his attorney. And in the prepping by his attorney, they're going to run through mock questions that are going to be asked. His attorney will take him through different scenarios so he can learn how to control his emotions so he doesn't explode like he did, number one. Number two, he should have never done the interview without his attorney being sitting there next to him. Okay, usually situations like this, they don't do an interview without their attorney present right there with them. Okay, so those are some glaring mistakes. And even though his camp said, according to Gayle King, Deadline.com has an article about this. Let's see, Deadline.com. Gayle King says R. Kelly camp pleased with his unhinged interview. And that's from March 6, 2019. We'll post the link to the article here. Even though his camp says that apparently they're pleased with the interview, It's a debacle of an interview. So the full interview is going to air tonight, okay? March 8th. So we have to check it out and I'll report on it Sunday. Okay. So let's look at this article here from page 6. And Guilty as Hell is entitled Guilty as Hell. R. Kelly needed, quote unquote, guilty as hell. R. Kelly needed anti-libido shots to control urges. Ex-lawyer. Guilty as hell. R. Kelly needed anti-libido shots to control urges. Ex-lawyer. Okay. So in this article, it talks about the lawyer who defended R. Kelly in a decade-old child pornography case said on Thursday that the R&B legend was guilty of those charges and even received anti-libido drugs to help contain his urges. Ed Genson, who is now 77 years old, told the Chicago Sun-Times from his Deerfield, Illinois home, quote, he was guilty as hell, end quote. Now, a lot of people back then during the trial, and I remember the trial. Now, social media wasn't as prominent back then as it is today. I remember during the trial, people were shocked that he was found not guilty, okay? Be sure to go back and watch the show I did February 24th. We'll post a link of it here at the end of the broadcast, okay? It's on Facebook because we broadcast our shows from the radio studio on our Facebook fan page, the African History Network. Just click on videos and go back to February 24th. It's also on my YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. You know, we're on live every Sunday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation WFDF. And we broadcast on Facebook Live, the African History Network show. So if we go back to the 2008 trial, right? The charge was for child pornography. There was a videotape. It was alleged the girl was 14 years old on the tape. The R&B singer Sparkle said that was her niece. Her brother testified that was not his niece. There were about 12 to 14 other witnesses that said that girl was 14 years old. The girl did not testify and her parents did not testify, okay? Also, very important, I'm going to share with you right now, in a few minutes, I'm going to share with you the press conference that attorney Michael Avenatti held on Monday, February 25th, after it was announced the 10-count indictment against Robert Sylvester Kelly. Because in all this talk that people are doing, and people saying, oh, well, Jocelyn and Azriel are not being held captive, you know, and, you know, they're not brainwashed. And when you really understand brainwashing and understand a pimp mentality, right? You see they're telling the same stories, and this is also a narrative that was told by R. Kelly. He said that the parents gave these girls to him. The girls are saying they were sold to R. Kelly, right? The whole thing is a train wreck. The whole thing is a tragedy. All around, it's a tragedy, okay? Even going back to R. Kelly being molested, allegedly by his older sister Theresa when he was younger as well, and his younger brother Kerry Kelly being molested by the older sister Theresa also. The whole thing is a tragedy, right? So what we notice here is that R. Kelly's defense in the first trial was that it was his brother in the video, not him. Notice this, right? Notice this. His defense was it was his brother in the video, not him. Now, Washington Post had an article, and we'll probably post it after the broadcast. They had an article recently where the jury foreman from that first trial was interviewed, and the jury foreman said that we did not believe that was R. Kelly's brother in the video. That's not why they found him not guilty. The reason why they found him not guilty is the jury foreman said they could not determine the age of the girl in the video. This is why he was found not guilty. So we have to be clear because, see, in the interview with Gayle King, this was brought up about R. Kelly brought it up and said he was found not guilty, things like this. He said this is double jeopardy. It's not double jeopardy, okay? You've got other accusers in this 10-count indictment. There are 4 girls in the 10-count indictment. And we'll post it was a really good article from CNN.com that actually had the press conference that the prosecutor held breaking down the charges. Okay. Also, you have additional videos. This is not the same video. This is a mistake people are making. These are different videos that have surfaced. So those are different alleged criminal acts. Okay. So R. Kelly's current main attorney is Stephen Greenberg. And I've seen interviews Stephen Greenberg has done. I've talked about it on my show. And even in the interview that R. Kelly has done so far, what we've seen, R. Kelly has not said that in the new videos that have surfaced, he's not said that's his brother in the videos. One. Two, neither he nor his attorney in all the interviews that I've seen that they've done, neither one of them have said that that was his brother in the previous video either. They just said he was acquitted. They didn't resurface that. Okay, so pay attention to this. All right, so Ed Genson, who is 77 years old, and it was R. Kelly's attorney during the 2008 trial, in an interview with Chicago Sun-Times said, quote, he was guilty as hell, end quote. But the former criminal defense attorney said he believes the R. Kelly has not done anything inappropriate in years, He's not saying he didn't do anything inappropriate back then, but he's saying he doesn't believe he's done anything inappropriate in years. He said, quote, I'll tell you a secret, end quote. Quote, I had him go to a doctor to get shots, libido killing shots. That's why he didn't get arrested for anything else, end quote. Now, this is the first time we've heard about this. Right? Now, Ed Genson, who has terminal bile duct cancer, B-I-L-E. Now, this is, I'm familiar with cancer, I'm not familiar with bile duct cancer, but you can have cancer pretty much anywhere in your body, I guess. So he's suffering from terminal bile duct cancer. So he figures, what the hell? He said, I'm just going to come clean. He told the Chicago Sun-Times he doesn't feel ambivalent about getting R. Kelly acquitted and keeping him out of prison in 2008. Okay. He said, quote, I did not facilitate him. He had already done what he did, what he had done, end quote. He said, I did facilitate him in the sense I kept him out of trouble for 10 years. I was vetting his records. I listened to him. Which ones would make a judge mad, end quote. He said once, so he's talking about the music he's putting out. Okay. He said, I did not facilitate him in the sense I kept him out of trouble for 10 years. I was vetting his records. I listened to them. Which ones would make a judge mad, end quote. Now, one song in particular, 2003's Ignition, tipped attorney Ed Genson off that the singer might be into underage girls. You think? Okay, how about Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, song he wrote for Aaliyah. You see Aaliyah here in the background. Now, I don't have Aaliyah here because I'm talking about R. Kelly. If you watch any of my videos, you see Aaliyah's always here. Muhammad Ali is always here. Two pictures of Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X. So I ain't put her here to talk about R. Kelly. In every video I do from this studio, she's here. So just so y'all understand, Aaliyah's from Detroit. I've lived in Detroit all my life, okay? So when she married R. Kelly, we all knew she was not 18 years old. She married R. Kelly at 15. Everybody in Detroit knew that Aaliyah was not 18 years old. We knew it was a lie, okay? All right, so let's continue. And we'll come to some of your comments here. How's everybody doing? Share this broadcast on your Facebook page because a lot of other people aren't talking about this, okay? And also, I'm going to share the press conference that Michael Avenatti did. Now, Michael Avenatti has presented 2 videotapes of R. Kelly having sex allegedly with underage girls. And Michael Avenatti represents the family of Azriel Clary, the 21-year-old, okay? And this is about protecting African-American women, African-American girls and women, period. Because a lot of people don't give a damn about Black women. So they want to excuse R. Kelly. They want to bring up the priest molesting white boys. They want to bring up this and that and all this. But some of our people, and especially some African American women, and I understand 6 out of 10 African American women have been sexually abused. Okay, I understand this, but too many of us are trying to protect a predator. Too many of us, just in general, not specifically him, but just in general. But yeah, we talk about him. Too many of us are trying to protect a predator. Because if Robert Sylvester Kelly couldn't sing, couldn't dance, couldn't rap, he couldn't act, couldn't play ball, he was just an average brother from the south side of Chicago, oh, everybody was saying throw the book at him, period. Everybody, if he was doing this, if he was hanging outside high schools, allegedly, I'm not saying he does it now, but in the past, if he was hanging outside of high schools, allegedly picking up 16, 17-year-old girls, oh, this would not have happened. You know, people would say he needs to go to prison. If R. Kelly was a white man doing this to black girls, all these people complaining now will be saying he needs to go to prison. They wouldn't be asking where's the parents, because notice, when the white priests are molesting white boys, nobody's asking where the parents are. Nobody's trying to shift the blame to the parents when white priests are molesting white boys or white teenage boys, because everybody knows what they're doing is wrong. But when it comes to African American girls, African American women, they don't get the chance to be protected because they're the most disrespected people in this country. They're the most disrespected women in this country. They don't get a chance to be protected. The blame shifts to them, okay? And if you understand anything about brain development, you know that the frontal lobe of your brain is essential when it comes to decision-making processes, okay? Research the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe does not fully develop till about age 25 years old, okay? When you go to rent a car from a rental car company and you fill out the contract, they always ask you, are you 25 years or older? They don't rent cars to people under 25 years old. Why? Because your full decision-making capacity has not developed by about the age 25. So when you see somebody who's down there 30 years older than the girls he's dating and likes really young girls, you have somebody who wants to be in control, wants to manipulate. And this was somebody who was victimized himself. He was molested when he was younger, allegedly by his older sister Theresa, allegedly. Okay, and this is what Carrie talked about, his younger brother. Okay, so we see this cycle that continues also. All right, and this is why therapy is so important. Mental health is so important. This cycle of molestation has to be broken. It can't keep going generation after generation. Okay, this cycle has to be broken. All right, so let's continue here. So former attorney Ed Genson, Genson, said that one song in particular, 2003's Ignition, tipped him off that R. Kelly might be into underage girls. He said, quote, "I was riding in the car listening to a song. It said, 'Are you crazy? This is all I need,'" end quote. He recalled. He said, "It's a song related to a guy driving around in a car with his girlfriend. It was originally a high school instructor in a class teaching people how to drive a car." Okay, it was originally a high school instructor in a class teaching people how to drive a car. He said, "I changed the words," he said, quote unquote, "I changed the words." Now, even though R. Kelly has written numerous hit songs, Ed Genson said the star is, quote, "not a very bright person," end quote, and might have become reckless after beating child pornography charges in Florida. He said, quote, what he doesn't understand is this: if you win a case with somebody, they think they're bulletproof. Okay? If you win a case with somebody, they think they're bulletproof. Quote, "You're almost better off sort of losing. He thinks he can do whatever the hell he wants. He has done everything he can to hurt himself," end quote. Okay, so we know that he was indicted last month, 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse, including against minors. Okay, and there was also, we posted an article about this. It was also one woman who's now 30 years old who alleged she was in Detroit when she was 13 and had sex with R. Kelly at a hotel in Detroit also. We'll talk some about that Sunday night on the show. Now, she's not one of the 4 women involved in the 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse, but this is a new allegation here. Okay, all right. So this right here is, I mean, I don't know what to say about this. I mean, this is damaging, one, but a lot of people knew R. Kelly was guilty. Okay, a lot of people knew R. Kelly was guilty back in 2008. So we'll post this article here on the thread. This is from page 6, and it was picked up from the Chicago Sun-Times. Chicago Sun-Times did an interview with Ed Genson, the former attorney of R. Kelly. How's everybody doing? We'll come to your comments here in just a second. African-American business owners also, hey, post the name of your business here on the thread of the broadcast. Post the name of your business here on the thread of the broadcast. We'll let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network on the podcast of our shows also to reach thousands of potential customers. And also, if you like the broadcast that we do, you can donate to the African History Network, paypal.me/the AHN show, paypal.me/the AHN show. Okay, let's go to some of your comments here quickly. Then I'm going to go to this. I want to go to this press conference that Michael Avenatti did back on February 25th, because the press conference he did was very damaging to R. Kelly's case, and a lot of people not talking about this either. A lot of people probably don't even know this press conference exists. Okay, so let's look at some of your comments here. Let's see. Jan Burgess said, wait, what about the priest that was forgiven by the Pope for over 200 sexual relationships with minors while this is going on? Okay, so are you saying R. Kelly should become a priest? Is that your argument? Is that your defense? You know, what should happen is that the priests should be prosecuted, but that doesn't mean that R. Kelly shouldn't be prosecuted. Most of the victims that the priests are dealing with are not black girls. See, once again, this goes to my point. When it comes to protecting black girls and black women, most of us really don't care. So this is why we try to make excuses. We say, look over there, look at the priest, look at Harvey Weinstein. We really don't care about protecting our women. We really don't care about protecting black girls. This is why we victimize them, okay? We're the only people that allow music to go out, that call our women all types of bees and hoes and thoughts and things like this. Other people don't put out music disrespecting their women like that. And you only protect what you respect. You only protect what you respect. If you don't feel that African-American women have value, if you don't feel black girls don't have value, you see no need to protect them. You see no need to stand up for them when they're being victimized, even if they're being victimized by somebody who looks like them. It don't matter who they're being victimized by. They're still being victimized. They should be protected, okay? When you go look at the priests, the white priests molesting white boys and white teenage boys, people aren't blaming the parents. People aren't blaming the victim. They know what the priests are doing wrong, okay? But when it comes to our girls and our women, we really don't care about them. This is why we shift the blame and try to blame them for it. If you look at the sister Geronda Pace, Geronda Pace was in the 6-part documentary series Surviving R. Kelly. Geronda, her case is so compelling because she met R. Kelly when she was in 11th grade at his trial. She was outside the trial defending R. Kelly, leave him alone, things like this. He gave her his number. They connected. She found out that he was a victim of molestation. She was a victim of molestation also. She said they had a bond. She ended up getting sucked in all of this. Okay, so once again, this is why reclaiming our history and culture is so important. My shirt, I love my history, I love my culture, I love my people, I love me, right? What what you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. Okay, so this is why, our history and culture gives us our values, our interests, and our principles. Our VIPs, our values, our interests, and our principles. You can't call yourself an N-word and really respect yourself. You can't call your women out of their name like that and really respect them. So you protect what you respect. This is an example of it. Okay. They won't talk about the money hungry parents who pimp the kids for fame. Okay. Who are you talking about? Because both parents have come out through their attorneys and say, well, we never asked R. Kelly for money. Anything like this. We don't want money from them. We never asked them for money. Jocelyn Savage's parents, they just had a press conference on Wednesday. They were with their attorney. And Michael Avenatti is the one for Azriel Clary. So if there was money exchanged, don't you think R. Kelly would provide evidence of it? Wire transfers, dates it was transferred, when did this happen? Don't you think he would have provided evidence of this? He hasn't provided evidence of this. If he was sending money to people, don't you think they would have provided evidence and say, look, here's wire transfers here from this bank account to this bank account. Here are checks here, cashed into their bank account. This is from R. Kelly. Don't you think they would have provided evidence? See, people are not bringing this up. Because when you transfer money, that's a paper trail. Even if it's cash, okay. When did you withdraw the money from the bank? There's a record when you withdraw the money from the bank, even if you gave them cash. When did you withdraw the money from the bank? There's a way to track this. Where did the money go? Did they deposit into their bank account? We can review the records. See, nobody wants to deal with that. They just want to repeat this nonsense. Okay, let's look at some more of your questions. Luke Cage, same thing I've been saying. What have you been saying, Luke Cage? So if you want to talk that talk, then you need to carry it all the way through, because the people who are saying, oh, the parents were trying to get money, right? Nobody said, where's the records of the money transfers? Because see, a lot of people are not thinking. All right, let's look at some more of your comments here. Nez Duke said, I think we have an issue with this that's bigger than R. Kelly, and a lot of people are ignoring that, and that's why I don't understand why many are upset with R. Kelly like that. Well, this deals with protecting African American girls. This is bigger than R. Kelly. He needs to be held accountable. He needs psychological help, and there are people around him who are enabling him also. Some of them probably need to go to prison as well. But this is bigger than that. This is bigger than R. Kelly, absolutely. In WXYZ Channel 7, I played it on my show, I think on the 27th. They had an article dealing with, and they had a segment dealing with how African American women are raped at a higher rate than their counterparts, than like white women, Hispanic women, but they report it less. Okay, they're less likely to report it. We try to put, and what happened was, it was a Cleveland affiliate of ABC that did this story, that went to a local like rape crisis center, and they interviewed one of the counselors there who talked about this, and who talked about how 6 out of 10 African American women have been sexually abused, but they're less likely to report it. And when they're less likely to report it, it allows this abuse to continue. It allows the predator to get away with it. And they talk about how there's more scrutiny when it comes to African American girls as well. They're more likely to be blamed for the rape. You know, their sexual history may be brought into the discussion. What were you wearing? Things like this. Why didn't you fight back, etc. Okay, so let me see if we can pull that up also, because that's a very, very important piece of this discussion. Let's see here. All right, I'll try to pull that up also. Okay, I want to go to this press conference that Michael Avenatti did, February 25th, 2019. Okay, and Avenatti is the attorney. You know, he was attorney for Stormy Daniels, Stephanie Clifford, but he's also the attorney for Azriel Clary's family. Okay. Okay, so the name of this, so the one from WXYZ, Surviving R. Kelly Sheds Light on Bigger Issue. Black women raped at higher rates, but report less. Okay. Surviving R. Kelly Sheds Light on Bigger Issue. Black women raped at higher rates, but report less. And let's see, we'll post this here on the thread. Okay. Also, let's see here. There was a good article from the Washington Post. I have been assassinated. A cursing, screaming, crying R. Kelly refuses to back down in explosive TV interview. This is from March 6th from the Washington Post. This deals with the first part of the interview that Gayle King did. I have been assassinated. A cursing, screaming, crying R. Kelly refuses to back down in explosive TV interview. And then also, there was a follow-up one. Let's see. There was a follow-up one from March 7th. Gayle King interview with R. Kelly continues, and so does the volatility. That's from WashingtonPost.com also. Gayle King's interview with R. Kelly continues, and so does the volatility. And then CBS News.com had one. R. Kelly jailed over failure to pay child support, says he's got about $350,000 left. I mean, this thing's just wrong all around. He says people have been stealing from him, from his bank account. In the interview with Gayle King, he said, like last week, he went to Bank of America for the first time by himself and had a new bank account opened up. And he said he had $350,000 in the current bank account. He had that transferred to a new bank account. He said people have been stealing money from his bank account. And he accepted some of the responsibility, because I'm like, how is this? This is the first time you've gone to the bank by yourself and you don't know what's going on with your bank account. You know, it's just crazy. Jasmine said, even with his family and kids revealing how he is, people don't want to see and believe he can be those things. Nobody knows him better than his own family. So how a fan feels compared to his family's truth means nothing, at least to me. Okay, so we'll post this. Let me see. Did we post it here? Do that. All right, let's go to this. Let's go to this press conference that attorney Michael Avenatti did. Let's see here. Where the hell did I put it? Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's see. Let me turn up the speakers so you can hear it. Let this thing populate. This thing's freezing up. Okay, we'll get this going. So this is from February 25th.
And then I'll take a few questions. I can confirm that earlier today we handed over a second videotape to prosecutors. The videotape depicts Mr. Kelly engaged in illegal sexual assault of a 14-year-old girl. It is approximately 55 minutes in length. The conduct in the tape can be described as nothing short of outrageous, illegal. It leaves no question as to Mr. Kelly's guilt On the tape, Mr. Kelly repeatedly refers to the victim as having a 14-year-old body part, a vagina, although that is not the word that he uses on the tape. I'm not going to use it here today at this moment for obvious reasons. In addition, over the weekend, we have encountered a number of additional witnesses who we have interviewed, who we are in the process of preparing to meet with prosecutors. Each of these witnesses described a decades-long system of abuse by Mr. Kelly of underage girls and conduct that is illegal, criminal, and is indicative of someone that should never walk free another day in his life. All of these young girls are not lying, ladies and gentlemen. It is impossible, and it is outrageous for Mr. Greenberg and other enablers of Mr. Kelly to suggest that all of these young ladies, after 28 years, are lying about this conduct. This man deserves to be locked up for the rest of his life. And the fact of the matter is, and I'm going to call it like I see it, had these victims not been black, and had they not come from, in many cases, disadvantaged households or households of a lower socioeconomic status, this guy would not be walking free today. Those days, however, are over. This reign of abuse and assault by Mr. Kelly is about to come to an abrupt and permanent end. In addition, we're in the process of investigating his enablers, and I referenced this last week. The attorneys, the agents, and the managers that enabled this course of conduct, all in the interest of money, transporting these young girls across state lines, arranging for their hotel rooms, arranging to keep them hidden, covering up their existence, convincing them not to go to authorities, obstructing justice, destroying documents, tampering with evidence, and paying people off, and the list goes on and on. This conduct is outrageous, and we're going to do everything in our power to cooperate with prosecutors, cooperate with investigators, and make sure that justice is finally done in this case. In addition, we have come to learn of the existence of yet a third videotape, and I believe that there are many, many videotapes, I might add, but a third videotape that depicts yet additional sexual assault and abuse by R. Kelly. I'll take a few questions. We're getting our hands on these tapes through the 10-month investigation that we've undertaken on a pro bono basis around the country. We've got a lot of people working on this. We've had a lot of people working on it since April of last year when we were first approached. I took a personal interest in this case because as a father of two teenage girls, 14 and 16, I find this conduct outrageous, and I am disgusted by it, and I am disgusted by the fact that this man, together with his enablers and his handlers, have been able to get away with this for 28 years.
The tape that you turned in today, what year do we think that was recorded?
In 99 or 2000.
The victim involved in the Cook County case.
I'm sorry?
The victim on the second tape that you turned in today. That victim part of the United.
Yes.
Third tape.
I'm not going to answer that question. Anything else? Yeah, I'm not going to get into the description of the third tape. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so that is a press conference that was held on Monday, February 25th, 2019 by attorney Michael Avenatti. Avenatti is the attorney for the family of Azriel Clary, who's 21 years old and is one of R. Kelly's girlfriends, okay, that he lives with. He's 52, she's 21, Johnson Savage is 23. So a lot of people are not talking about that press conference. It's on Facebook. It's ABC Channel 7 Chicago on Facebook has it. Breaking R. Kelly just pleaded not guilty to sex abuse charges. We're going to post a link here to it so you can check it out also. Go back and watch it. Pay attention to this. And very quickly here, I also posted here on the thread from CNN.com. Here's a breakdown of the charges against R. Kelly. Because this trial is going to be, this is totally different than the 2008 trial, okay? This is from February, so the charges from February 22nd, 2019. You have, now the women are just being referred to by first and last initial. So just to refresh people's memory, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox outlined the 10 charges of aggravated criminal sexual abuse against R. Kelly. She said the charges involve 4 victims. And let me try to pull it up here on the other laptop. But the first victim, initials HW, was involved in incidents which occurred between May 26, 1998 and May 25th, 1999. The grand jury returned an indictment on 4 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse based on the victim being under the age of 17 and R. Kelly being more than 5 years older than the victim, okay? And let me try to pull it up here. The second victim, initials RL, was involved in the incident which occurred between September 26, 1998 and, let's see here, September 26, 1998 and September 25, 2001. A grand jury returned an indictment on 2 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse based on the victim being under the age of 17 and R. Kelly being more than 5 years older than that victim. The third victim, initials LC, was involved in an incident which occurred February 18th, 2003. A grand jury returned an indictment on 1 count of aggravated criminal sexual abuse based on the transmission of semen by R. Kelly upon any part of the body of the victim for the purpose of sexual gratification, okay? For the purpose of sexual gratification. During the course of an underlying felony of attempted criminal sexual assault. The fourth victim, initials JP, was involved in incidents which occurred between May 1st, 2009 and January 31st, 2010. Okay, the grand jury returned an indictment of 3 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse based on the victim being under the age of 17 and R. Kelly being more than 5 years older than the victim. Okay, so those are the charges here. This doesn't have anything that, none of the charges deal with child pornography, which was what the first case was about. Okay, so this is going to be a much different case. Now, let's see here. Okay, that finally came up now that I'm done with it. Let's see here. In the article from thegrio.com, R. Kelly's attorney, Stephen Greenberg, responded. Now, this article, because the Grio had an article dealing with former attorney Ed Genson as well. R. Kelly's previous lawyer on 2008 case, quote, he was guilty as hell, end quote, sent him to get libido killing meds, okay? And this article came out March 8th, 2019. So since his current attorney responded, I want to share this with you as well. Let's see. And in the Chicago Sun-Times interview, Ed Genson said, quote, I've been a lawyer 54 years, 99% criminal cases. I've represented entertainers, represented people connected to organized crime, represented professional criminals. I've represented guilty people. I've represented innocent people. Okay, end quote. He said, I can say whatever I want, but we've got to do it fast. It would be nice to get it down so somebody knows besides me. Okay, because he's dealing with terminal cancer. Okay, so he feels he's gonna pass away soon. Ed Genson calls the interview with Gayle King an attempt to influence potential jurors in his criminal case. He said, quote, he is, end quote, tampering with the jury, Genson said. He said, I'm trying to figure out why he did it. I don't know whether his lawyer is an idiot. He might be, end quote. Now, Stephen Greenberg, who I've criticized in the past, I said Stephen Greenberg is going to get R. Kelly convicted. Okay. Stephen Greenberg is R. Kelly's current attorney, and he said he's not trying to taint the jury. He said, quote, R. Kelly is a grown man who can respond to these allegations as he sees fit. He didn't talk about the charges. He didn't talk about cases. He generalized allegations that he is some kind of monster running a cult. This case is so far off in the future. Who knows when a trial is going to be? I don't think anyone is trying to tamper or influence the jury. This is not something being orchestrated as some kind of defense trick, end quote. Now, former attorney Ed Genson said R. Kelly is not very bright, and because he beat his case, it might have empowered him to a fault, okay? Let's see. He said, what he doesn't understand is this: if you win a case with somebody, they think they're bulletproof. You're almost better off sort of losing. He thinks he can do whatever the hell he wants. He has done everything he can to hurt himself. Okay. All right. So that was some of the comments in the previous article from page6.com also. Okay. All right. So this is playing out. Once again, we have to protect our daughters, protect our women. We have to, respect them. We have to understand they need protected. Molestation is huge in the African-American community. A lot of this is a holdover from slavery. A lot of people don't want to talk about this. During slavery, African-American girls and women were sexually raped, abused. African-American boys and men were raped as well. A lot of people don't want to talk about this, okay? And that's something handed down from generation to generation. If they did not get psychological help, most of them did not. If they did not get psychological help, if they did not get therapy, it becomes the family secret. People know the uncle is molesting the children. People know the father or the brother is molesting the children. Many times people who do molestation, they were molested when they were younger. And it's a cycle that continues. It's a cycle that has to be broken. All right. Let's look at some more of your comments here. Okay. Morissette said, nail in the coffin. Devin said, you're a brave and wise man. I respect you standing for what's right. I'm not sure if he's talking about me or Michael Avenatti. We're both named Michael. One case that is approved to go to, I think it's a civil case. That's Summer Zervos, okay? But Trump has his accusers also. Trump is not going to get away. And you have two fronts, not just the Mueller investigation, but you have the House Democrats and the investigations they're launching as well. So Trump is in deep, deep trouble on a number of different fronts. Okay, and there probably, I think it's something like about 17 investigations that are going on right now dealing with Trump. And this is outside. This is outside dealing with the women. Okay. Wadia said, thank you so much for your understanding. Derek said, wow, it's over for him. Okay. And let me try to pull up this other one here. Okay, can you all hear me? Okay. Can you all hear me? All right. D-Main, Dietra, Kelsey. Okay, Mod Hotep sister, how you doing? You don't be something you never did, Claudette. Okay, I'm not sure what you are referring to. if that's true, you'd think over the years he'd get educated, at least privately. Sammy said, did anyone see R. Kelly's brother interview, which he contributed his brother's behavior due to molestation by their sister? Yeah, Nora. Yeah, I saw that interview. That interview's on YouTube. Okay, that interview is on YouTube, and that was Kerry Kelly. That was R. Kelly's younger brother, Kerry Kelly, who did the interview. And you can just search for that. Kerry Kelly, I think it's Carey, reveals he was molested. And I forgot the sister's name, interviewed him. She did a really, really good job. It's a really powerful, emotional interview. And Kerry Kelly talked about how he's a few years younger than R. Kelly. He talked about how when the molestation was taking place with him, he said he went to Robert Kelly, R. Kelly, and told him it was taking place and who did it. And he said R. Kelly didn't believe him. And he said he never told his mother about it. He said he was trying to tell R. Kelly first. And then if he believed him, then that'll give him the courage to tell his mother that his sister, his oldest sister, is molesting him. Okay? But apparently, if I remember correctly, he didn't realize at the time that he told R. Kelly that R. Kelly had been molested by the older sister also. Okay, so the article from WXYZ.com, Surviving R. Kelly sheds light on bigger issue. Black women raped at higher rates but report less. Okay, read this article, WXYZ.com. This is from January 12, 2019. And in the article, they talked to Theresa Stafford of the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center. Okay, Theresa Stafford of the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center. And she said maybe they stayed in silence because they didn't feel like they had a way out. She's talking about the women who were in the documentary Surviving R. Kelly. And she said Stafford watched the 3-part series and says the women's stories are all too familiar. She said, quote, we actually see a lot of young ladies that have been, groomed into believing that somebody loves and cares for them. And then the person is actually taking advantage of them and victimizing them and causing harm to them, end quote. And this is something, when you study R. Kelly's patterns, they talk about him grooming the girls, okay, to be the way they are, which is a form of brainwashing them. You see them systematically cut off from their family. They change their phone numbers, don't have any contact with their family. They just rely upon him, okay? And this is what cults do also. If you ever study cults, whether it's Jim Jones or some of these other cults, you see that the people are separated from their families. They're cut off from their families. Also, Craig Mack, who died last year. Here comes the brand new flavor in your ear. Craig Mack was in a cult as well. Research Craig Mack, M-A-C-K. And you see these patterns when it comes to cults and this mind manipulation, this brainwashing, okay? All right, so let's continue here. Okay, so Theresa Stafford of the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center says this is especially true within the African American community. She said, quote, we have to get to a point in our society where we feel that Black girls deserve the treatment and protection of other young girls in our community. They deserve the treatment and protection. This is what I was saying earlier. Now, Theresa Stafford says 60% of Black girls are sexually abused by the time they turn 18. 60% of African American girls are sexually abused by the time they turn 18 years old. She said that's a number that's extremely higher than any of their counterparts. She went on to say only 1 in 5 African American women actually report the abuse. Okay, so 60% of African American women are sexually abused by age 18, but only 1 in 5 African American women actually report the abuse, meaning going to basically reporting the abuse, I think they really mean going to the authorities, okay? Then this allows a lot of this abuse to continue. She said, I think we have to get to the point in society that we are talking to our young black girls and that we are talking to our young black girls and just the black community as a whole. She said, having a conversation that sexual abuse exists in the community and that we have a system and organizations to respond when these young ladies come forward to disclose, okay? And then also they give the phone number for the National Sexual Assault Hotline. National Sexual Assault Hotline, which is 1-800-656-4673. 1-800-656-HOPE. 1-800-656-4673. Okay. And you can also access the 24/7 help online by visiting online.rain.org, RAINN, online.rain.org, RAINN. Okay. All right. Dorothy said facts. Whittier said, yes, we are. You're breaking down the cycle of abuse. Sammy said, yep, grooming. Okay, Celia breaking up. Can you all hear me okay? Theresa Kelly is the older, Theresa Kelly is the older sister. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Theresa Kelly is the older sister. Bruce was the brother who's in prison, who's filmed in a documentary. Carrie Kelly is the younger brother. R. Kelly's the middle brother. Middle brother. Claudette said, very sad for him and the women. People should be held accountable for not getting him help. Yeah, he has enablers around him. And this is what attorney Michael Avenatti was saying in the press conference that I played for you. He said they're going after some of these enablers around R. Kelly also. Okay. All right. So people share this broadcast on your Facebook page. Invite your friends to watch this as well. We'll be on Sunday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the African History Network show. If you like this type of information, please donate to the African History Network. This helps us to keep doing the research, stay on the air, pay the bills, etc. Helps finance the show. Also, you can visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We have our DVD lectures there, online courses that are on demand. All of that. All of my DVD lectures are there at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. And this Sunday, March 10th, will be our anniversary of the African History Network show. March 10th, 2010. March 10th, 2010, I started the African History Network show on the Harambe Radio Network. Then we went over to Blog Talk Radio. I've done nationally syndicated radio, done the Michael Imhotep show, guest hosted the Roland Martin radio show numerous times, dozens of times. For Roland, that's how I know Roland. We were on the same radio network together when he was on the Empowerment Radio Network for a short stint of time. And the guest hosted for Warren Ballantyne for 3 months when he was on the Empowerment Radio Network. And now I'm on 910 AM, the Superstation, WFD, okay, in Detroit. So we'll celebrate the 9th year anniversary of the African History Network show. I have 922 podcasts of shows and broadcasts we've done. If you go to AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, and click on listen to podcasts, we have it right there. And African American business owners, hey, email us at customerservice@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Customer service at let you know how you can advertise on the podcast of our broadcast, like this one right here, the audio podcast. 8 different podcast platforms. We're on iTunes and Castbox and FM Player and Blog Talk Radio. We take your 30-second and 60-second commercial podcast of our broadcasts, and each episode gets listened to thousands of people across the country. Okay, so email us at customerservice@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, customerservice@AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Okay, and we'll post the information here on the thread also. Okay, Tacoma, Cecilia. Okay, thank you. All right, so hey, we have to get out of here. Remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's corrects your own behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. Okay? Remember, right now it's corrects wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. We'll talk to you next time. Peace. All right, guys. Talk to y'all later.